It was not very long ago right now that they announced the 2022 Hall of Fame ballot results, and the only person to get in was David Ortiz. Now, I do want to say first off, congratulations to him on a fantastic career. One of the best designated hitters of all time, right up there with Edgar Martinez and all those other great DHs that have existed. And he was fantastic for his whole career with the Red Sox and a little bit with the Twins. I mean, the guy was batting 300 in his last season, I think, at like age 38 or something insane like that. So clearly deserving of it. And first time, too. First ballot Hall of Famer. Can't knock that. However, I do want to talk about the obvious controversy here being that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens did not get in. And based on what we had seen from about 200 public ballots collected by Ryan Thibodeau, and I probably butchered that, so I'm sorry to him. He does fantastic work every single year collecting data relating to Hall of Fame because not everyone makes their ballots public, which I think should be a thing just for the sake of collecting the data, seeing how all of these votes were distributed and who specifically, I guess, is the more important thing there. Obviously, I have the breakdown of the votes here because they do collect them and they do, they do have to keep track of this. But for the sake of someone posting their own ballot or making it publicly available, you can see how they voted, how many people they voted for, because many people don't use all 10 votes. And I've talked about that a lot on my podcast and in other videos. I personally believe you should use 10 votes if you believe there are 10 Hall of Fame worthy people on there. And especially this year, there were definitely 10 people deserving of a Hall of Fame vote, at least. Maybe not getting in immediately because it does get hard to choose sometimes between guys. But you can see here, plenty of people were over I think it's 5% mark to stay on the ballot. And quite a few were not. Joe Nathan was one of them. Former Ranger, of course, Tim Lincecum, another former Ranger, but that doesn't really count. Teixeira, Howard, Justin Morneau, Prince Fielder only got 2 votes, which did shock me. Once again, that was another thing we discussed on the podcast. But bringing it back to my point here, I believe that you do have to vote Bonds and Clemens and all these guys that also were involved in steroid scandals if you're going to vote Ortiz. And it looks like there was at least 40-ish voter disparity between Ortiz, Bonds, and Clemens. So just aside looking at Barry Bonds' numbers, and I know they said, I watched the announcement on MLB Network just now, they say it's based on character and integrity and this and that. But you just gotta look at his numbers, man. I mean, they're insane. He was the most feared hitter of like the 90s and the 2000s, apart from like Ken Griffey Jr., So that's my little spiel on that. But it's just frustrating because it was their last eligible year on the ballot. So I thought maybe they had a shot. They're like, okay, we've gone through this for 10 years. Let's just finally vote him in. But no, they're going to have to rely on the numerous veteran committees to get this thing done. So I don't know. It's a little weird to me if you're not going to have one of the best hitters of all time in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he does, whether or not you agree with it, he does still hold the all-time home run record at 763, I think, or 62. I don't remember. And he was just insane. So that is my thoughts on the whole situation. Let me know what y'all think. And once again, shout out to Ryan Thibodeau, who does this stuff every year. I don't believe this image was from him, but he does this stuff manually, reaches out to people, gets their ballot, puts it on a website so you can kind of get the projections of what you think is going to happen. So let me know what y'all think below, though. I know everyone's going to have different opinions. So let's talk. I want to hear how everyone thinks. It's a tricky issue, and it seems like the issue gets more tricky every year. Also, I am a firm Scott Rowland supporter. I do think he should be elected into the Hall of Fame. He still has 5 years, but I think people were saying that with Bonds 5 years ago, probably. So Once again, let me know what y'all think. Crazy times, but thanks for watching this, and I'll talk to y'all later.